What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Shonen Showdown. I'm your host, Rob, and to the right of me is...
me, Jarrod.
And we talked about Escanor and Whitebeard in a previous debate, but it didn't stop there. Actually, it got into a conversation whether the One Piece universe is a stronger or weaker universe compared to the Seven Deadly Sins universe.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that. Keep it locked. All right, Jarrod. Obviously, this is going to be a little tough one.
Yeah, definitely.
There's power levels, there's feats, there's everything that we have to factor in, abilities, all of that good stuff. But if you had to pick a verse that is more powerful, which universe is winning? Do you think it's going to be One Piece, or do you think it's going to be Seven Deadly Sins?
Like, this is a hard one because I do feel like we have to take into account ability-wise, how the balancing is, in terms of say we have the commandments, 10 commandments, how they have certain abilities that force people to do certain things.
Right, the 10 commandments. Mm-hmm.
And if we compare that to kind of a haki type thing.
Right.
See how Escanor, his personality, his persona overstated Estarosa's commandment. So if we say this is persona or haki or his basically will of being, I feel like people with high haki ability, the top people we see in One Piece, can easily stand in the realm with 7 deadly characters. Take into account.
Right.
In the same sense, we have some abilities that these guys in 7 deadly have, Bond, for example. He's immortal, and he has his own little bandit snatch and stuff like that, which would be kind of perfect for a One Piece universe, you know?
I mean, I'm gonna go on the record here and say, and I'm still gonna say this. I still think Bond is trash. We've been seeing what's been going on in this recent season, and I remember everyone was getting on me in a previous debate where I said Bond is trash, and I was waiting to see what he's gonna do in this season, and I'll remind you that he is still trash. The man had to get rescued by Elaine again for the second time. The man had to get rescued by Elizabeth after Melascula was destroying Bond not once but twice, almost died again. The man was getting destroyed by little zombies that Melascula made. So he was the only one that was getting destroyed. Escanor looked at him and said, "Bond, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? This is fodder. These are lower tier enemies." Okay. At the same time, Bond is beating himself up now because he wasn't the one that was able to stop Meliodas when he was in his demon form. They had to rely on Escanor. So he himself has recognized that he's weak. So I'm not even going to talk about Bond in this situation. Okay. When I'm talking about actual characters from Seven Deadly Sins, I'm going to talk about Meliodas, Escanor, Merlin, Elizabeth. Okay. The cream of the crop. The 10 commandments, as you mentioned. When it comes to them, I think that the Yonko in One Piece can hold their own.
100%.
When we talk about haki, obviously, looking into the future, I'm going to assume right off the bat that if you're a Yonko, you have that ability to some extent.
Yeah.
Your conqueror's haki is elite. People like Bond are probably going to fade in the presence of a Whitebeard. I'm just going to put that out on the table. Power level's too low. Hawk, fainting. I think anybody that's lower tier is probably, I don't know if
maybe
they're
gonna King
maybe not King. I'm going too hard. Yeah. Maybe not King. Yeah. But Bond is fainting. But I'm thinking Conqueror's haki, observation haki, armament haki, right? Coupled with devil fruits that can literally destroy multiple on feats bigger than we've seen in Seven Deadly Sins. You also have people that know how to use their devil fruit abilities that have very unique devil fruit abilities.
In interesting ways.
Right, Trafalgar Law, for instance. I think that in terms of a Bond, he can remove hearts. He can do certain things of that nature, dismember a Bond or something like that, even though he's an immortal. Mm-hmm. And we also know that if Law gave up his life, he can make somebody immortal with his fruit as well. Exactly. So there's things from One Piece that I think there's too many factors, right? But there are enemies also in Seven Deadly Sins that we have not seen in One Piece that will be able to counter them. As for instance, the Demon King, the supreme deity of the Goddess Clan. Mm-hmm. Those are two members that we have seen so far in Seven Deadly Sins that I don't know if anybody from One Piece can really stand before them in terms of power, because they provide power to the 10 Commandments. They, you know, things of that nature. Demon King provides power to the Ten Commandments. You know, the Supreme Deity looks over the Goddess clan.
Yeah, they're God level.
They're God level.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in One Piece is. I mean, we haven't seen anything from Im as of yet. You know, the Gorosei are kind of, you know, unknown. You know, there's been talks of a person named Joy Boy, but we don't know what Joy Boy. You don't know who Joy Boy is. What happens? What if he had a power? If there was any combat strength? We don't know anything. Right? The Void Century, Ohara, Nico Robin, things of that nature. I think would come into play in a conversation like this, but right now we don't know. So for that reason, you know, when it comes to the God levels, I think Seven Deadly Sins has it. But on a regular level, I think if you know I think if the Ten Commandments or any of the Seven Deadly Sins run into the One Piece universe,
smacked up.
I think I think there's going to be certain opponents that based on their devil fruit and their haki ability that they would not be able to handle. Only the likes of like a Meliodas and Elizabeth, you know, a Zeldris, perhaps.
Escanor from time to time.
Escanor from time to time, exactly. Escanor from time to time would really be able to hang with the cream of the crop. You know, maybe like some worst generation, some admirals per se. You know, like an Aokiji or Kizaru. Even some Yonko commanders like a Katakuri. You know, King Queen, maybe Smoothie, for instance. You know, things of that nature. But when we start getting into the Yonko and we start getting into the big moms, the Kaidos of the world, you know, the Whitebeards, Shanks, you know, even people I deem that are Yonko level, like a Mihawk or Rayleigh. When we start talking about these Blackbeard, you know, things of that, I don't know if anybody from Seven Deadly Sins that is underneath the God level is really getting out of there. I don't know. And we know they move fast. We know they have several hearts. We know that they move there's incredible feats that are done. You know, Meliodas when he's in his demon form he's
a monster.
He's a monster. He goes, you know, obviously we've seen what he was able to do. But when hockey's the biggest factor here for me. Yeah. Hockey really is the biggest factor.
Like I was saying before, like I feel like these feats can be like hockey is basically your metal or like your fighter spirit, you know? And these things can be overdone with like commandments and the abilities can be overdone with hockey in general. And it's like a main staple for anybody in One Piece who's strong to have a basic understanding of hockey. And that's like everybody who wants to fight. Right. So like I definitely don't see them standing in like the same realm. Seven Hearts or whatever, like it does give him an edge, but like as soon as they figure it out, Mihawk is not stopping on that. He's gonna be like, okay, what else do I gotta do, you know? Right. Like even if it was like Meliodas versus Mihawk, I know like we've seen like the abilities of people in Seven Deadly, but I haven't seen like that planet destruction ability, you know, like I haven't people be able to like really put a whole dent in the earth. I haven't seen that ability at all. I mean, Aokiji and Akainu had a fight and literally created Punk Hazard from their battle. Exactly. Like I don't think that everyone really remembers the level that people have, because One Piece, we know that, you know, that the action in One Piece is kind of scaled down because the fights are very like quick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Seven Deadly Sins has a more long, drawn out fight. You know, you have Meliodas fighting all the 10 commandments at one time and stuff like that. But on average, I'm going to say that I think One Piece is a stronger universe. Yes. I'm going to say that, you know, there are more people, there are more characters within One Piece that are of an above average tier than there are in Seven Deadly. Seven Deadly, you have the gods that are obviously the highest tier. I don't know anybody in One Piece that can compare to that. Okay. But once you step down from the gods, it starts getting into a range where I think anybody in One Piece can handle anybody. I think anybody in One Piece that is, you know, obviously, like I said earlier, you know, warlord level, you know, admiral level, Yonko level or higher, Yonko commander, worst generation, can start hanging with people in the 10 commandments, can start hanging with people in the 7 deadly sins. Yeah. So I'm gonna say One Piece. I totally agree with that. Like you just said, like the cream of the crop of One Piece is definitely coming into the 7 deadly universe and like kind of make it their own, you know? Right. Because like, I don't know, who would you like rate at the top of 7 deadly? Like who would be like,
besides the gods?
Besides the gods, like under them, like under that god level, because we can't really touch those.
Well, I'm just gonna, level. I mean, for me, I would go, you know, Meliodas, Zeldris, Elizabeth, Merlin, Escanor. Those are names that come to mind when I'm thinking of the cream of the crop. Maybe an Esterosa. Yeah. When I'm thinking of the cream of the crop. But I mean, if we take the cream of the crop from One Piece,
I can see them beating.
Yeah, I can see a team of Whitebeard, Shanks, Blackbeard, Kaido, Big Mom, just Yonkos alone. Throw them in there. Yes, that's destruction for me. That is too much haki. That is
the
devil
planet
fruits.
might just be destroyed.
Big Mom's asking people stay or life. Like I mean, there's just too much going on. Kaido goes into dragon form and is blowing up mountains
with ease.
I mean,
when he's intoxicated.
Yeah. And these are just devil fruits. I didn't even, you know, if you add in the haki with the. It's One Piece, man. I think the One Piece universe is much stronger. There's obviously been very crazy destructive feats within Seven Deadly Sins, but One Piece, on average, is just a stronger universe.
Yeah. There's a bigger level of destruction that we've seen from One Piece in the past and probably in the future, to be honest, compared to what I've seen so far in Seven Deadly.
Right.
And I would just have to give it to One Piece. The One Piece verse being able to stand with and maybe even take down most of the Seven Deadly verse in like an all-out gauntlet battle.
Right.
You know?
Right. So you guys definitely have to let us know down in the comment section below. Do you think the Seven Deadly Sins universe is stronger, or do you think the One Piece universe is stronger? And with that, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.